let us begin. Here are the things that we got to be able to calculate, figure out the measures of spread that we're going to focus on today's lesson. The first one we have range. All right, range. To find range is basically taking your upper extreme minus your lower extreme. So, and I'll jot that down. We'll go call upper extreme. Okay, I'll have to abbreviate here. Minus your lower extreme. Those are my fancy terms for saying biggest number minus smallest number. And that's it. The first quartile is the median, all right, median of the lower half data. All these quartiles are medians. The second quartile is just the true median, the one that Miss Allen had talked to you in the talked about to you in the previous lesson. So the second quartile is just the regular median. This is the lower median. I'll just kind of jot it down. And then the third quartile is going to be the upper median. Median of the upper half of the data. All right. And then the last thing, the fifth thing we're going to figure out is the interquartile range. And basically, it's similar to finding the range. You're subtracting, but in essence, it's really just the third quartile, Q3, minus the first. Okay? Alright, so here we are. We're going to find the 5-number summary, which is what we just talked about. First, second, third quartile, interquartile range, and we'll go ahead and find the range as well. So what we have here is a set of data. There's 26 numbers. Make sure we list them in order least to greatest. First thing we'll find is the lower extreme. Lower extreme being our smallest number, that is 2. Alright, our upper extreme, which would be 200, our biggest number. Next up, we'll go ahead and find Q2, the actual median. After finding that, I calculated 16.5. There's two numbers in the middle, 16 and 17. I'm going to place this line right here. And how I calculated the median was you just take the two numbers that are in the middle, 16 plus 17, divide that by 2, and that will give you 16.5. Okay, after that we got to find the first quartile, Q1, which that will be 10, and I will show you how we came up with that. Alright, I'm going to place a couple lines around 10. The Q1 is the median between, the lower half of the data. Alright, the lower half of the actual median. So if you go to the left side of the median, find the middle number on that side, that will calculate your first quartile. Same thing with the third quartile. I came up with 27. Alright, so we'll go to the right side of the median, which is right there. And then last but not least, we can calculate the interquartile range, which is 27 minus 10, which equals 17. Okay. Say that we just threw it away. You took the high road when you walked away. Okay. So now there's two schools of thought when dealing with Q1, Q2, and Q3. The first one is the traditional one, I think. I was taught this in school, and I always kind of went by it. When we calculate the median, the Q2, I used an odd set of numbers. Okay, there's 5 numbers here. We actually have a median, which is 7. So I'm going to write that right there. When we're looking at the first quartile, this is the first school of thought, you ignore the median, the Q2. So if we look at the numbers on the left side of the data, we got 2 and 4, and that's it. We have to go in between 2 and 4, and I'll mark it down. Okay, just like we calculated if there was 2 numbers in the middle, just add the 2 numbers up. 2 plus 4 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. That would have been our first quartile. Same thing with the third quartile. Go to the other side. Okay, between 10 and 17, we have 10 plus 17, which is 27. Divide that by 2, we get 13.5. My pen was struggling there. So that's the first school of thought. We ignore the actual median when finding the Q1 and the Q3. Now, just recently I was told that some programs work to where when you're calculating the Q1 and the Q3, they include the actual median. I never heard of this. So you got to look at finding the median between 2 and 7 to find the first quartile, which in this case we end up with an actual number in the middle, which is actually 4. So that was a lot different than what we had on the other school of thought. And same thing with the third quartile, between including the 7 that's in the middle and the upper extreme, our median was actually 10. So just food for thought. I prefer the ignoring the actual median when you're calculating the Q1 and the Q3. But just my opinion. Until then, we'll see you next time.